LEGO Star Wars has just released its first 3 mech sets, those being Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and a Stormtrooper. And of course I had to get them, because I don't know why, but I kinda like these little guys and have accidentally become slightly obsessed with mechs. But looking at these, I couldn't help but feel they could have made a better choice. A mech that actually makes sense. A character that actually uses one of the damn machines. But who would that be? No. Yes, of course, it's everyone's favourite little marketing gimmick, Grogu, who was placed inside the dead carcass of IG-11, creating IG-12, which, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much a mech suit. And even though it didn't stick around for too long, I still want to try and build one. At first I wanted to put the entire IG minifigure with Grogu in the mech, but I quickly realised the side profile was just way too big, so I ended up just having to go with the actual little Grogu on his own, which in hindsight makes more sense. I wanted to build based off the same general shape of the mechs by using the similar pieces, such as these fixed joints for the arms and legs to make it the same size. These mechs actually introduced a brand new body piece, which I would have used on the mech, but because it's brand new, I didn't really have any. Even for this shot, I had to pretty much entirely disassemble the Stormtrooper mech. I instead opted for using a piece that was found in the Marvel mechs from the beginning of the year. This piece also fits Grogu a lot better because the new piece is really built for minifigures, whereas this can fit a bit of a smaller fig. The mechs also contain this front chest plate piece, which always has like a printed tile on it. I couldn't really do that because otherwise you'd entirely block Grogu, so I couldn't quite include that one. So I got to work building the most basic frame of a mech humanly possible, just with that grey piece as the body as the base, and then using the same fixed joints for the arms and the legs. And you can also see that instead of that piece that I just showed, I was trying to basically build a little roll cage out of brown pieces to represent IG-12 straps, which go right down his body. I know that's technically not the case in IG-12 and it's more of an IG-11 thing, but I think it's a bit more iconic, so that's the design I went with. And this is basically what we look like for a simple frame. This of course is not the finalized design, we will be putting a lot more details onto here, but there's one thing I realized when looking at it. The 3 mechs that just released, the heads of those mechs are basically just built with the helmets of the figures. Because Grogu is not the character of the mech, the actual mech itself is IG-12, I need to get a head built onto this. And that's exactly what I did. Sorry about the camera angle in this time lapse, it's entirely in the wrong place. But you can basically see I started to get the head together, as well as giving a little bit more bulk and a bit more detail to the actual mech itself. And this is what it looks like with the head on there. It's partially giving Tusken Raider energy, I kind of think, with the thing sticking out. But I think overall it works. I've actually used one of the 6 stud shearers to give a bit more detail to what would normally be quite a boring piece. I've also made it so that it can flip back and flip up, just so you can get Grogu himself out a little bit easier. But I'm quite happy with how it looks. I ended up removing some of these sticky out pieces to put in some red lights just to give him some of his actual eyes. But besides that, it was time to get to work with detailing in some different colours, because I know IG-12 is not the most colourful thing in all of Star Wars, but adding in some brown and dark tan definitely helps with a bit of variation, even though those themselves are not particularly bright colours. But that was pretty much everything I needed to add. I just threw on some guns, got them on the rotating table, and I was done. And now I can finally introduce the Star Wars mech LEGO should have released, IG-12 with Grogu. I am super happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really cool.
I really love how detailed it is, giving a nice robotic design with the crossed over bandoliers on the sides. The guns are just directly ripped from the Boba Fett and the Stormtrooper because I think they look fine enough. So it does have play features, those stud shooters do work. And I think Grogu looks great on the middle. Really happy with it, with loads of different interesting pieces to create details, such as saw blades and different welding irons and stuff. And I think next to the other mechs, he is way too tall, but that's because I had to add a head on the top, which is about 2 inches tall. But I'm still super happy with how this came out. And to be honest, it's really inspired me to get building some other mechs. And by other mechs, I mean other mechs. So let me know what type of mech you'd like to see. I've already built my first few, and let me tell you, some of them are wild. So subscribe if you want to see more mechs like this, and thanks for watching.